I'm Jane Omorogobe.
And I'm Peter Purves. Welcome to Teen Trials, Men and Motors weekly trials competition for youngsters. Now, we're walking along the stepping stones, which are part of a longer and really very much more complicated section.
Yes, Peter, all the riders are turning up here at the Teen Trials course expecting it to be a piece of cake, but are they finding it difficult?
Well, what are they going to do today? Well, it's a Class A competition. That means the riders should be between 15 and 17, but one of them's got a problem.
Yes, young Jamie Stevenson, he's actually only 14, so although he's competing in the A class, he's going to find it quite a challenge.
Yeah, a bit of a mountain for him. His opponents, they're aged 16 and 17, but I suspect they're all going to have just a little bit of difficulty on this fairly complicated course. But before we see any more of this, let's have the rules.
Well, the rules couldn't be simpler. Each of the three competitors has to complete the course twice, once going one way and once going the other way. The course is made up of 4 sections, each of which must be completed. So, how does the point scoring system work? 1 point putting your foot down once while in a section, 2 points putting your feet down twice while in a section, and 3 points, you've guessed it, putting your foot down 3 times while in a section. 5 points putting your feet down more than 3 times while in a section. And if any of their riders fall off their bikes while in a section, that's a maximum of 5 points for that section. During the 5-second hold, the judges must be happy that the bike remains stationary and the rider is in full control. The judges will sound a horn once for the beginning of the 5-second hold and twice for the end. If the 5-second hold is not completed, 5 penalty points will be awarded. The competitor with the least points will be awarded the winner at the end of the show. And in the event of a tie, the rider with the quickest time will be the winner.
So if that's as clear as sticky back plastic, let's take a look at the course. The riders start by mounting what looks like a relatively easy climb up some stones, but here they have to turn sharp right and then freeze. 5 seconds they've got to hold it and balance here on the top. Now, if they manage that okay, then it's straightforward. They just set off along these stepping stones and over the great pile at the far end. The second section are the logs, and if you manage to negotiate the climb all right, you've got another problem, because here you've got to rest the sump of the bike and hold it for another 5 seconds. If you do that okay, of course, it's plain sailing after that, ho-ho. Straight down the other side and over the humps. Then you're faced with just a simple little obstacle, the tyres. And on the top there on a bike, your head's about 12 feet above the ground. The final obstacle, well, I suppose this doesn't really look too difficult, does it? Just over that and over that. That's easy enough, but then you suddenly get this whole snake of tyres to negotiate. And I guess if you drop down into the middle here, it's probably the quickest way of breaking the leg that I can think of. But then at the end, at least, over the last tyres, you drop down and you've finished. Oh, the relief of it. Not so, because now you've got to turn around and go back in the opposite direction. I tell you, it's tough.
Thanks, Pete. Now it's time to meet Kirk Vitty, our first competitor.
First to attempt our exclusive Teen Trials course is Kirk Vitty. Kirk is 17, comes from County Durham. He's riding a GP Beta 250 bike. He's actually been riding for 12 years now. Previous honours include finishing 7th in the British A-Class Championships in 2001. OK, Kirk, hand you over to the starter. Start your bike. It's all yours, Jane. Well, this certainly isn't the Tyne Bridge, but it is a very tricky obstacle. Now, he's there, he's now got to hold, oh, and he's not there, he's not there. He's still not there. And the foot down with a dab. So he's got 1 penalty, and there's his start. Now, 5 seconds to hold. This is so much more tricky than it looks. He's there, he didn't bob it around, he did wobble a bit, but he's over and away. Lost a bit of time. Kirk's riding a GP Beta 250, and here again he's got to hold for 5 seconds. There's his time, and he's in a great position. He's got that just right, I think. Comes from toe law, yes, that's perfect. And saved a lot of time by getting into that right position. He's very quick on this course, but time only comes into it when we're talking about equal faults. And at the moment, he's doing remarkably well. Just one penalty, good balance there on the top, got that front wheel locked over, so he's perfectly balanced. 2 hoots and he's away. Just one section to go, possibly the easiest one for the lot. And it does seem that it needs to be taken at speed to avoid any real problems, and he's doing very well. What a nice finish, excellent stuff there. Very quick, and how many faults altogether, Jane? I made it virtually none.
Just one penalty point at the very beginning.
That's right, let's take a look at where it came up to. Kirk didn't have a great start. He picked up 1 point on the first obstacle, but from that he got onto a great holding position on the logs and on the tyres as well, and in general it was a very quick run.
So Kirk here has just one penalty point and a time of 1:22. You must be quite happy with that.
Yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. Just a shame about the mistake on the first thing, but quite a quick time, so.
Now, obviously, most of these guys are competing in the British Championships as well, and you're currently 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
But the last competition in Wales, you unfortunately had to miss.
Yeah, I had food poisoning after the night before, so had to miss it.
So you were quite gutted then, you
Yeah,
couldn't improve on your time.
Yeah, just a bit.
Okay, well, very best of luck. Let's see who our next rider is.
Next up, it's 14-year-old Jamie Stevenson. Jamie's younger than most other riders in our Teen Trials A-Class competition, but his 7 years riding experience and his Gas TXT 250 bike will hopefully pull him through today. Jamie hasn't been short of honours either, picking up the top spot in the 1998 and 1999 North East C-Class Championships. Start your engine up, and I'll hand you over to Jane to start. So Jamie, just 14 years old, from Howden-le-Weir, County Durham, and a dab on his way up there. It's one and another one there, it's 2. And both feet down, that's a fail. He's actually failed that section, a full 5. This is one obstacle that really has caused more problems than any other. Right out of it, Jamie, you failed on that. Been riding for 7 years. Like all these lads, he's got fairly lofty ambitions. He wants to become British World Trials Champion. British and World Champion. Lofty ambition. He's in a great position. He's got 1, 2. 2 down there, 2 penalties. Now over the rocks, or rather over the logs. We've seen enough of the rocks to last him a lifetime. Neatly over those, just 2. Riding a Gas 250, Spanish bike. And now his balance on the top, and he's done that well. Just wait for the double hooter, and he can go. He's cleaned that. That'll give him some confidence. Jamie, of course, still at school. Likes all things to do with bikes, BMX as well as motorbikes. And there he goes through the finish. Well, not a particularly bad time, but he's got a few penalties there. What's the score, Jane?
I think Jamie found that quite difficult. He got 5 on the first obstacle and 2nd on the logs, so that's 7.
7 in total, yeah, well, as we said, he's riding up a class, which perhaps he shouldn't have been doing, but anyway, he's still got a 2nd run to improve on that. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of that run. Unfortunately, Jamie found the first half of this course extremely tough. The rocks seemed to be the biggest problem, but his position on the logs also meant that Jamie had to pick up 2 points to pull off. This course isn't for the faint-hearted.
Young Jamie here's got a time of 1:39 and 7 penalty points. Jamie, you found that quite a tricky course, didn't you?
Yeah, the first section was quite hard, like getting it up onto the balancing point, but the rest was quite easy, and the second section was quite hard though, but just getting it off the sump, but the rest was quite easy.
Well, best of luck for the 2nd run. Wish you all the luck in the world for that, and we'll see who our next rider is.
Our last rider of the day, and in his first year of A-Class, is 16-year-old Michael Lee from Hexham in Northumberland. He's riding an MRS Circa 250, same size engine as the other riders today, so there's no advantage there. Very best of luck to you now. You've seen the others have a go at the course. Maybe that's an advantage, maybe it isn't. Start your bike. And I'll hand you over to Jane to start you off. So here he goes. Called it the Durham Mafia earlier. It's the Tyneside Mafia, really. But that, oh, he's got a dab. Balance and up. Now, can he hold it? He is doing no forward movement. Terrific. Just holding the balance. He's done it. Just the one penalty. Now over the stepping stones. This section doesn't seem to cause too much trouble, but the initial balance does. Michael's a member of Seaton Delable Motor Club. Beautiful spot that, halfway between Newcastle and the coast. Now I'm not sure he's got this into the best position, but he should be able to kick forward to there. Holding for his 5 seconds. No feet down. He's still balanced. I think he's got one. I think he's got two. I made that 2, but we'll have to check. Just a little unfortunate. He was almost in position to get off the top. Now, can he hold this? He did. No, and another one. Now, the judges tell me that it was just 2 penalties on the last section. Can he clean this? It's normally been cleaned in the dry. Causes problems when it's wet because it gets a wee bit slippery, but his balance is good there. Nicely in place. Can he move it off? He can. Yes, he's cleaned that. Again, just this last section to go through and taking at speed. And that's a good finish. Nicely through there. Michael Lee, very good on time. Not quite as good as our first rider, Kirk. What was it, Janie?
You got 3 penalty points in total.
Yeah, we had a little bit of difficulty spotting whether or not there was a penalty with the right foot on top of the logs there. Let's take a look and see if we can determine it definitely. Well, that wasn't a bad run from Michael. 1 point picked up getting his bike onto the rocks for the hold, and a bit of a tricky pull off from the logs as the bike spun round a bit. Another point picked up there, and the bike landing on his ankle on the way down. That must have hurt. You sort of sense Michael started showing off in the later parts of the course. A gear change on the hold on the tyres, and look at that jump off.
Young Michael here's got a time of 1:37 and just 3 penalty points, which puts him in 2nd place. Are you happy with that?
Not really, no. On the first section, when I dabbed, I thought I would go for a quick time, but I went a little bit too quick, really, and ended up getting the other 2 points.
So what happened on the sump there? Because it looked like your bike was actually spinning round and facing the wrong way at one point.
Well, it was all right when I was bouncing on top, and then when I tried to rock it off, it just spun round, and I had to dab to bring it back round and to push it off again.
And I must admit, I was a little surprised when you had trouble on the long log on the floor.
That was just because I was rushing so much to get round to make up for the points I'd lost.
Well done, and best of luck for the 2nd run. Now, it's time for a break now, but don't forget to join us in part 2 when our riders will be completing their 2nd run and doing a bit more of this. Hello and welcome back to Team Trials, where Jamie Stevenson is just about to start his 2nd run.
Yes, well, Jamie goes first on the return run because he had more faults than anyone else on the first run. But I suspect he thinks the course is a bit easier this way.
Yeah, it looks a lot easier to ride, especially on the last section this run, because it looks easier to get your bike onto the balancing point.
Fine, well, there's confidence for you. Start your engine, good luck. I'll hand you over to Jane to start you off. So straight into the course in the reverse direction. Again, these big tyres, if they ride them quickly, they don't seem to have a problem. If they ride them slow, that's when the problems could start. But he's cleaned that section. That'll give him confidence. So this young lad from Howden-le-Weir, County Durham, and the hopes of a lot of people here. Oh, he's dabbed, so we'll have to time that again. So he's got 1. There's the hooter again. Full 5 seconds. Can he balance it this time? And that means he can go, and nicely down. And now into the logs. He really has got quite a pedigree. He won the C-Class Championships 2 years running. That's up to the age of 13, and in fact I think he was only about 11 and 12 when he won those championships. So he's used to riding at slightly higher standard than... Oh, he's not stopped. Failed, full 5 on that. Unfortunate there, just approached it too fast on the logs, but now can he do these stones? He said the stones were easier this way. It's actually not such a... Oh, he's got full 5. He's lost all that because he had both feet down. So this balance really doesn't matter. He's down again there. He's failed the section. He's actually failed the section there. Oh, seriously unlucky there, Jamie. Bad luck. He was unlucky there. As he came up, suddenly had both feet down. That's a fail. There's no escape from that, so it's very unfortunate. He'd already lost it before he dabbed on the top. So a big disappointment for him. A lot of faults there, Jane.
Yeah, I'm afraid he got 1 penalty point on the tyres, but 5 for forgetting to stop on the log, and then another 5 at the end for putting 2 feet down.
11 in total, poor lad. Mind, as we've said before, he's riding a class up here. His opponents are both A-class riders, so he's acquitted himself pretty well. Let's take a look back at some of the high points. It was explained clearly, and all the riders know about the 5-second hold, but Jamie completely missed the hold on the logs and consequently picked up 5 points. The torment didn't end there because, as we know, 2 feet down meant 5 more penalty points. The first name on the leaderboard, Jamie, is currently in first place, but I don't think he'll be there for long. And looking at the times of Michael and Kirk for their first runs, I shouldn't think they'll have too much of a problem knocking him off the top spot. Sets off over this fairly straightforward opening section on the return leg, and he's cleaned it. Michael actually comes from one of the most beautiful parts of Great Britain, Hexham, Northumberland. And that's where he learned to balance so perfectly. And he's cleaned that section. So far he has. And belying his stunt riding there at the end. Now coming into the section caused him a problem on the first leg because he was hurrying. No such trouble on the way back. It's not really too tight for these riders, and he's very skillful, wonderful control. Oh, and that's just perfect. He couldn't be in a better position there for the hold. The back wheel just ready to push him off. Oh, just perfect. Michael has lots of control here. Very neat. Only been trials riding for 5 years. He started when he was 11, but he started riding the bike when he was 2. Just holding that. And now away. Oh, and he's finished it beautifully. Excellent ride. I make it clear. I'll check with Jane in just a second, but what really struck me was the speed. That was fast.
It definitely was fast, much faster than the first run. He got 1:19 in that second run.
Oh, that's fantastic. And faults?
No faults.
Good stuff. A total of 3. That's all for the 2 runs. Very good indeed. Let's take a look at it again. Michael was certainly very fast through the first obstacle, and there was no problem in the hold on the tyres or the logs. There was little movement on the rocks, but really it was a great run. I think Dougie Lampkin and Graham Jarvis, his idols, would be proud of him. Unsurprisingly, Michael is placed above Jamie with a total of 3 points and a time of 2.56. One to watch for the final. Start your engine, over to Jane. Making absolute mincemeat of this first section. Kirk couldn't compete in the National A-Class Championships this year. He had food poisoning. He's managing that perfectly. Good balance. But he was 7th a year ago in the same championship, his first year in A-Class. Into the log section. These logs don't cause much of a problem. It's not terribly tight, but the boys have to concentrate pretty hard. And this is where the problems can come. Can he clean this? Now that's not the best position. He could have been a bit further forward. As the toes touch, these count as dabs, so he's really got to get off that clean. He's managed it. Good control. 17 years old, wonderful control of his bike. One penalty on the outrun, clear on the return run so far. Can he hold it clean? Looking for any forward movement there. And his time would have to start again. He's just held it. He's clean. He's absolutely clean. Well done. Well, I make that no faults that direction, just the one total and a pretty good time as well. So what do you think of that?
I thought it was amazing. It looked like he might possibly have a little wobble on that rock, but so far, brilliant.
Oh, he did have a wobble, but he didn't have a jump and he didn't have a forward movement, so no penalties. Terrific stuff. Let's take a look back at what really is the best ride of the day. Like Michael, that was another very fast run. The course not giving any problems to Kirk. Bit of a tricky position on the sump rest, but he really takes it all in his stride. Definitely the winner of today's heat will be one to watch for the final, as the top 3 riders on the leaderboard at the end of 4 heats will fill the places for the A-class final. Kirk with just 1 penalty point, a very fast time of 2.37. It's going to be a very difficult pace setter to beat.
Well, we've had another great day here at Teen Trials, and for once, the British weather hasn't let us down. It's been lovely and sunny all day.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. And a terrific performance from young Kirk Vitty. Almost certain that we'll be seeing him in the final. All that remains to do today is to leave you with highlights of today's action. See you next time.
Bye.